Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Can and can take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars on the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Question in the voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Can in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. We live and loud, that break in the mud. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploding like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, their foes can't fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Well, good morning, everybody. It is finally draft day. I know my partner in crime here, Joe, is quite excited because today is the day that his franchise might turn the corner.
Yeah. That's the water.
Hey, good morning,
it's
Fred.
quite a day. Fernando Mendoza, come on down. You are officially a Las Vegas Raider. Well, I shouldn't say officially because anything can happen.
You're unofficially a Raider.
Yeah.
Shit, pretty much all
If
we're
they
waiting
find a
for
way,
is-
if they find a way to fuck this up, I'm gonna be. You know, like that's the thing about being a Raider fan is you actually have to have this thought. Like, if they actually find a way to fuck this up, you know, like you've seen it so many times as a Raider fan that it's like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. You just, you know, we know that we can't have nice things. So it's like either Fernando Mendoza is gonna completely just suck, or the Raiders are gonna, you know, oh, the Jets have traded up for the first pick, you know. Like some crazy shit.
That's honestly what I'm waiting to hear, is that the Jets have traded up for the first pick. Because I think if you're getting screwed, that's how you're going to be getting screwed. But Fred has confidence in you now that you have Brady there, that he don't think Brady will allow it to get fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty simple, dude. Like, there's one quarterback in the whole class that's worth taking. You take him, you know? You need a quarterback. I don't know. Because, you know, for me, it's like, it's a win-win, dude. If the Raiders take Mendoza, let's say Cousins.
Hey, good morning, Yoli.
Let's say Cousins, you know, comes in and sucks, right? Which I'm not expecting the playoffs out of him. I'm not expecting some, you know, 10-win season out of Kirk Cousins at this point. But, you know, let's just say he just is absolute dog shit. Like he looks like Geno last season, right?
Oh,
like,
God.
yeah, let's say he looks that bad, right? And they have to put Mendoza in, and then Mendoza looks like shit. Well, next year is a really strong quarterback class, dude. So it's like if we go 4-12, we might end up in the top 10 picks to be able to like go get one of those guys.
Oh,
who knows, you know?
Hold on. Would you really fucking draft a top quarterback 2 years back to back?
Like I said, if Mendoza looks like absolute dog shit, then I would at least consider it. I mean,
how bad does he got to play for that? Because
he's got to play. He's got to play like Geno last year.
I was gonna say you got to think he's gonna have a leash, being the number 1 overall pick there. That they're gonna give him at least enough rope to hang himself.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I'm thinking that he's their bare minimum 2 years,
yeah.
even if he does suck.
So here's the thing, though, is next year you could take a quarterback, and now you have 2 young quarterbacks on rookie contracts on your roster. One's a backup, one's your starter. You know, like it's really. I'm surprised that more teams haven't gone this direction. Like, get you 2 young quarterbacks, let them compete it out, and the winner, you know, becomes a starter. The loser, like, stays the backup.
Well, you got to remember the old adage with it is that if you have two quarterbacks, you have zero. So if there's not one of them that's just pulling right away, that's not good. But what's up there, A-Dub?
What's up,
See,
gentlemen?
I disagree with that old adage though. To me, if you have two good quarterbacks, you have two good. It's like I get the whole ego thing of like, oh, you can't have them in the same room because there's going to be a quarterback controversy and they're going to hate each other. But it's like one of them is going to be the starter and one's not, and it's like I want a guy that's capable of supplanting my starting quarterback, like behind him, because that keeps the fire lit under my starter's ass, Like he knows, oh, dude, all it takes is a bad 5-game stretch. And I'm gonna be on the bench, like that's just me. Like this is completely Joe, 100% Joe's coaching style. Like, obviously I'm not an NFL coach, so
Yeah, I hear you on what you're saying about the idea of drafting two QBs in the same draft, but my issue with it would
no,
only be
not the same draft. Either the same draft. If you're gonna do the same draft, it's like one first rounder and then a later round pick. But I'm talking about back to back, or like within 2 to 3 years of each other, drafting two young quarterbacks in the first round. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that works, because I was about to say the biggest conflict you could have with those guys is which one are you going to keep after their rookie deal's done. But yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Or one guy will go, See, that's the thing, is that you'll have another guy, if he wants to leave, he can leave and go pursue free agency, and then you go draft another young quarterback. Like, you should. I just feel like
I'm hearing you on that part, because the thing is, like, sometimes when despite you having QBs a few years apart from each other, they could play well enough to where either one of them could either warrant an expensive contract to be kept for a second term.
Yeah. You're absolutely right, A-Dub, and that's what I'm saying is, like, if you lose one to, let's say, you're the guy who's not your starter, he wants to go somewhere, and fine, you don't have to pay him, right? Then you go draft another quarterback. People seem to forget, or maybe people are a little too young to remember when the Niners had Steve Young and Joe Montana at the same time. Like, you can have two good quarterbacks on the roster, right? But eventually the younger guy is going to have to supplant the older guy, though.
Yeah, but Joe Montana was on his way out when that happened, man. I mean, he was clearly in decline. It was like Rodgers and Love. I mean,
he still had
time to move on.
Brett Favre, you mean? Like Brett Favre was
Brett Favre. Yeah. It was time to move on. I mean, it's just that's how it is, man.
Now, my thing with that, Joe.
Same thing with Rodgers and Love.
Now, my thing with that, Joe, is how much are you handicapping the first quarterback that you had drafted if you do that back-to-back years? Wouldn't that first round pick be better spent supporting that other quarterback instead of constantly making him fight with the other guy?
Yeah, I mean, it's just spitballing. It's just throwing something out there that, like I haven't seen many teams try it, and I think, like, for me, the competition that it would drive with your first string quarterback, like, unless he's a complete pussy where he's just like, oh, they drafted another quarterback, and starts crying. Like, bro, this is the NFL. It's competition. Like, if you
but why do you want to mess up what they got, Joe?
I don't. But I'm saying if you don't feel any heat on your neck for your job, then your team isn't doing it right. Like,
well, but the whole point to
that, but
you should still be able to draft a young talent and get them, work them in, and have them put pressure on your starter. I mean, it's just not feasibly financially able to hold two starting quarterbacks like that.
But on rookie contracts, you can, and that's my point, is that the rookie scale actually benefits you in doing that. Like, you don't have to draft them back-to-back years, but every other year, let's say, like if we draft Mendoza this year, I would consider drafting another quarterback like in 2 years, like just to push Mendoza. And at the worst, you got a very competent backup. You got a first round quarterback for your backup.
So then what do you do when it comes to pay them on their first contract?
Like I said, if Mendoza's good enough, then you sign him to a long-term extension, and then when it's
screw
time,
the other guy, right?
and then when it's time for the other guy's contract, he can go somewhere in free agency and he can go get his money.
Damn, Joe,
and draft another quarterback.
He could have been the whole time working with the team and built his way up.
Well, he did build his way up. Like he
built his way up for another team, and then you took those guys out from underneath them. It ain't the same. I guarantee you, it ain't the same.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I mean, look, it's an interesting approach. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that's just
right.
To me, it's just physically or financially not able to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, but go ahead.
I'm about to say, if there's something else I consider with quarterbacks when it comes to drafting them, is how long of a learning curve they have as opposed to other positions. Because if I felt anything, I always felt QBs had the longest learning curve out of any position out there.
Yeah.
Because honestly, Joe, I've said this before, and the way the NFL wants to go, they want to put more games on. Okay, so if you put more games on, then maybe that means you need to raise the salary cap so that you can have 2 starting quarterbacks on your roster and then decide week from week, just like you would in baseball. If you want a right-handed pitcher, left-handed pitcher, you want this guy out there, you want this guy out there. Rob, I mean, and that way you can make a guy go 25 games.
Rob,
I don't think one guy could do it.
Rob, theoretically, I'm all with you on that. That sounds great, but there's not even 32 starting quarterbacks in this league, let alone enough.
Bro, I understand that, but it would increase. I mean, you would increase that up. I mean, honestly, you would. It would all change if you.
I think you're just getting UFL style quarterbacks playing a game or two.
You might get that. You might get that. It might water it down at first, but then again, it might open stuff. I mean, bro, having something like that is like for quarterbacks like Caleb, who like, I mean, bro, he made a living on coming back last year. He made a living off of coming from behind.
Yeah,
you know, like say you got your regular starter's not doing it, you put him in, and he fucking. I mean,
hey Fred,
I just think
Fred, historically you would be correct, Fred, but I think 100% Ben Johnson helped develop Caleb. So I don't know if that thing about the Bears is currently true.
Give it this year coming up, Joe.
Yeah, I don't expect Caleb to make a huge regression, dude. Like, you know, he may not have the year he had last year, but I don't expect a huge regression. Like, I don't expect him to come out and pull CJ Stroud year 2.
Well, people said that about Jordan Love, and one of the reasons why they said it was a matter of how much game film they had on Jordan Love to where they know how to stop him. And the same thing could be said for Caleb Williams.
Yeah. So Dorn, he's talking about what I'm talking about. And it actually makes sense, especially if you're a quarterback factory like the Packers. Like this, dude, think about this. You draft a quarterback every couple years, you coach him up, right? And whoever's the best one, you keep him as your starter, and then you trade the other guy off a year before his rookie contract ends and go get a first-round pick for him. Like, you could continue to do that indefinitely and just recycle. Like, you could continue to build your team through it.
I get what you're saying, but all it takes is one guy not to pan out, and that fucked your shit all up.
Not really. You're out a first-round pick, but how many first-round picks bust anyway?
Well, but also, man, when the Packers were churning out quarterbacks, like Doug Peterson was the backup for most of Favre's career. All these other guys they came in, they were third. That's when you carried 3 quarterbacks. Most rosters don't even carry 3 quarterbacks anymore. And all those third quarterbacks they got like Mark Brunell, fucking
Hasselbeck.
Who's the dude that won it for the Rams? What's his name?
Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner. That's another one that Packers drafted.
Well, he was undrafted, and he only went through training. And he only
started with the Packers. Yeah.
Well, he was in a training camp with us. I necessarily don't count as a Packers backup. Since
I just think he got lucky. Ended up going to being where he was and having the wide receivers he had. That's all.
Well, but then he proved it after that too in Arizona, though.
I was going to say before Arizona, I would have 1,010% agreed with you. But
Jeff George had some highlight games too, bro.
He took the Arizona Cardinals to the Super Bowl, man. Come on. When was the last time the Cardinals were in the Super Bowl?
Patrick had some big games too, man. Does that mean shit? Come on, bro.
Fitzpatrick also hasn't taken somebody to a Super Bowl.
I mean, the best thing about Fitzpatrick is his beard. I mean, other than that, bro, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, but I think comparing Kurt Warner and Fitzpatrick is madness, dude. Like Kurt Warner may not be the greatest NFL quarterback ever, but he's a Hall of Famer for sure.
I didn't say he's not. I'm just, he's on the lower end of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's not a Drew Brees or a Peyton Manning, but he deserves to be there, in my opinion.
I believe anybody who wins a Super Bowl should be in it. I mean, bro, that's the ultimate goal. Out of 32 teams, you got to get there every year, and it ain't easy.
Yeah, but then that would put Trent Dilfer in there, and I don't know about that one.
Bro, I didn't say that you're going to get in. I said that
Brad Johnson.
Yep.
The first prerequisite to getting in should be at least you won a Super Bowl. You're a fucking champion before you get in the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? I just think that should be.
Well, then that leaves Dan Marino out.
Well, I'm sorry.
It's so Phillip Rivers too.
Mm-hmm. So be it.
Cool.
So be it.
I mean,
you gotta have standards, bro. Otherwise, what the fuck are we doing?
Some other names names that people might have one the LT at running back with Damian Thomason, or even some other players, or even Junior Seau or Sean Merriman from the Chargers.
Yeah, I don't know how you could ever leave LT out of the playoffs.
I'm sorry,
out of the Hall of Fame, you mean?
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. It was up. Yeah, that's what I meant.
I mean, when we water it down, when we get to that point where we just need some guys, well, then he'll be on that list. Just saying, bro.
Yeah. Hey,
he should have left. He should have left the Chargers and went to a team that won. I don't know what to say. I don't know why did you stay there all those years.
You could say the same thing for certain receivers who had a good career and stayed with one team. Guys like Megatron, Calvin Johnson, or even Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
He made it to the Super Bowl but didn't win it.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, Fitzy, I give a hell of a lot of credit for sticking it out there with Arizona, with how freaking up and down at best they had been. Hey, what's up there, broski?
What's going on, fellas? I thought this might have been the Packer backer hour. Jeez.
Well, I was gonna say that's what happens when you don't fucking show up, man.
Between that and the what is it, the Daily Huddle report, I'm like, you might as well just call it Packer backer hour 1, 2, and 3.
No, there's a Raider fan here.
Do Raider fans count?
I know Joe's holding it down. I know Joe's going to hold it down.
Most Bear fans don't come out for a lot of those shows, though. That's the problem, bro. That's why.
I hear you, but yeah, man. I do like that comparison that Fred dropped. Holy shit, he said Fitzpatrick called Goff a poor man's Matt Ryan. Like, I mean, that's pretty fucking accurate. Wow, that's pretty fucking legit.
I don't necessarily know if I'd call him the poor man's Matt Ryan, but calling him Matt Ryan, I could get behind.
I mean, dude, Matt Ryan was you can look at like stats and numbers, and honestly, I'd have to go back and look. Matt Ryan had some big time numbers, and so did Goff, but Matt Ryan was a fucking way better quarterback than Goof.
You want to know what the difference there is, though? Goff has had Amon-Ra as his best to throw to. Matt Ryan had Julio fucking Jones.
Yeah, who could never get a touchdown. The guy got a lot of yards, but he never had touchdowns.
Last time I checked, Amon-Ra was all pro first team. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? Like,
and something else you could say about Matt Ryan that I'm sure could be comparable with Goff is both might have had significant losses in their career they've never recovered from. Like, Matt Ryan never recovered from that Super Bowl letdown against Tom Brady.
That was a huge letdown.
But that you know, I wouldn't just put that on Matt Ryan though. But I just don't remember Matt Ryan having like those huge meltdown games that Goff is still known for. Like Goff literally, and it's not even an exaggeration, still has games where he has like 4 or 5 turnovers in a game. In a playoff game at that.
Dude.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with Broski. To put that Super Bowl loss on Matt Ryan is extremely like that doesn't make any sense at all. If anything, you should put it on the offensive coordinator who decided to stop running the ball with with Freeman. Like, they were killing the Patriots the whole first half in the run game, and then in the second half they decided, like, hey, let's just throw the ball for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, and the defensive coordinator, because it's like, okay, well, the Patriots are down 28. Obviously, they're going to be chucking the fucking rock the rest of the game. Like, it's not a secret.
Yeah. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Like, and Shanahan was part of that. Wasn't Shanahan the offensive coordinator?
Yes,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think
so,
Kyle
right?
Shanahan was the offensive coordinator.
LaFleur was over there too at one point.
LaFleur was the quarterbacks coach for
Quarterbacks coach. Yeah, there you go. I knew he was there.
He was part of that Shanahan tree.
Yeah, but I'm sure that LaFleur was over there sitting on the sidelines with Matt Ryan every Patriots touchdown, going, "Man, this is some bullshit, isn't it?"
It's some bullshit. Some bullshit. I don't know if LaFleur swears like that, bro.
He's like, I don't know what Shanahan's doing, dude. We'll run the fucking rock before it's too late. Like, chew that clock up. You know?
Yeah, you should have been trying to play keep away with a 28-3 lead.
Yeah, dude. Craziness. But man, it's draft day, dude. I'm fucking excited. I know the Packer fans don't really have a lot to be excited about because you're not going to be picking tonight, but
no,
we got a Micah Parsons for our
I was gonna say we are already excited.
There is something we do have something to watch, and that is to see what everybody else in our division does. If they mess up, it'll be something worth watching to laugh about for Packer fans.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny too that you mentioned that. Like, the Lions and Vikings are right next to each other at 17 and 18 picking. I'm curious to see how that plays out. Because I'm really going to be disappointed, or not disappointed. I'm really going to be not happy if the Lions are able to sit there at 17 and draft one of the three between Monroe Freeling, Caden Proctor, or the guard from Penn State, Vega Ione. I won't be happy about that.
Oh yeah. Oh, neither will I.
Because the Lions do need O-line help, so I'm sure they would go that way.
Exactly.
Not just need O-line help. I think their entire season hinges on this O-line if they can get it fixed.
But dude, at 17 though, you got McNeil Warren out there, and they could use safety help too. Like, just because I'm only saying this, I know that they need offensive line really badly, right? But this is a deep offensive line draft. Like, I might consider going offensive line in like the second or third round and taking McNeil Warren, because I think that dude's going to be a stud.
Well, I agree with you on him. The more I looked into him, Joe, I think he's got what it takes to be like a excellent, just like a premier player at strong safety.
Yeah, dude.
He's one position. He only has one position he really can play, but fuck it. If you need a strong safety, I mean, he's going to be a hell of a pick.
Dude, he can tackle. He can come downhill. And he had a 92 PFF coverage grade last year. It was the highest in all of college football, dude.
Yeah, another player the Lions could look at there is that tight end, that Sadiq kid, because if you look at how they handled Hawkinson, they traded him the last year of his like rookie deal, I think, and that's what Laporta's on now. So, and Laporta, who knows if he'll ever be Laporta again? Honestly, because who the fuck knows if he's ever going to like. He'll probably try to play again, but like he might not last that long, and he might not be that as good as he was, So it's like, damn, you could ship Porta out and draft that kid.
Yeah, well, something that's coming to mind for me is maybe the Lions will try to do the same thing they tried to do to Green Bay back in 2024. Maybe still a player that the Vikings would want with their first pick.
Well, the Vikings could use McNeil Warren too. They need help at safety. So if they were to pick him, they would be stealing a player that the Vikings could potentially have interest in.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Also, I think the Lions need help at defensive tackle, so they could take that McDonald kid from Ohio State.
Well, and I mean, the Vikings could also use a tight end because Hawkinson's on the last year of his deal.
You mean Laporta?
No, he's saying for the Vikings.
For the Vikings.
Oh, for the Vikings.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Laporta still.
Yeah. No, Hawk's on the last year of his deal with the Vikings. So I mean, they got to look at getting a new tight end, and then technically, like that what is it? Brian O'Neill, the right tackle of the Vikings. He's in the last year of his contract with the Vikings. Dare saw the left tackle. That guy can't fucking stay on the field. So they could technically use a tackle as well. So there's a lot of similar positions the Vikings and Lions can use.
Yeah. And I'm thinking another position the Lions can go after that I believe we make fun of them about is they need somebody opposite of Hutchinson at the edge rusher position.
They do, but to me that seems more like a luxury pick given your needs.
Mm-hmm.
Like it would be great to have another, really good pass rusher. I don't disagree with you, A-Dub. I just think you have more pressing needs. Like Brian Branch may not be coming back next year until how far into the season, and is he going to be the same? And
Kirby Joseph is hurt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have no safety, no starting safety. So getting at least one would be good. One in the first round and then one in the later rounds. A guy like Genesis Smith or maybe Bud Clark, although I'm really hoping they don't because I want the Raiders to take Bud Clark. I think Bud Clark is going to be one of the unsung heroes of the draft, dude. Maybe not unsung because people are starting to recognize that he's, his talent, but he's projected to be like a late third, early fourth round pick. So I think that dude's going to be a freaking baller, though. And I think Zakee Wheatley has a chance to be a baller, too.
For sure.
You like Zakee Wheatley? Broski?
I do. I think this draft is so good for the secondary. I mean, especially cornerback, but it's really solid for safety as well. I honestly feel there's guys you can get in the third round, and I feel that Wheatley is one of those guys who could come in and start as a rookie on a lot of teams. I feel that cornerback from Texas, Malik Muhammad, is another guy he's probably going to go in the third round, and dude, he might be able to come in and start as your CB2 as a rookie.
Mm-hmm. Have you looked at Hezekiah Massis at all?
What's
from Cal?
Tell me from Cal? No.
Yeah, he's the corner from Cal. He's projected as a fourth round pick too.
Yeah, I don't spend as much time on non-SEC, non-Big Ten players that much, especially on defense. But what I will say, there is a non-SEC, non-Big Ten cornerback I really do like out of San Diego State, believe it or not, named Chris Johnson.
Yeah, I've heard you mention him before.
You speak of SEC guys. I'm keeping an eye on one school in particular for Green Bay, and that is the school known as Georgia, because we tend to get guys out of Georgia so often, especially for our defense.
And if you're alluding to Christian Miller, I hope to freaking God you don't draft him.
If he falls in the second round to Green Bay, I wouldn't be surprised if they go after him.
Yeah, I'm telling you, him and Big Citrus, Dominic Orange, and Caden McDonald, man, those three nose tackles, I think, are all like the top tier. You know what I mean? I think they're all very close to each other, and I think they're all top tier. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I think Caleb Banks is a hell of an athlete, and yeah, his injury, it could be concerning, but to me, he's like a Jalen Carter type of talent, not the same player, but at that level of talent. His injury does give me cause for concern, but if he's available at 36 and the Raiders, if I was the Raiders, I feel like you kind of have to take that shot, man, because that dude, when he's healthy, he's a double team eater, dude.
So you're talking about a second round pick, Joe, like the Raiders would use?
Yeah, I'm talking about, because the Raiders pick at 36 in the second round.
Oh.
If Caleb Banks is still there, if another team hasn't like taken the chance on him, if I'm the Raiders, especially you're switching to a 3-4 base this year, like you got to have a good nose tackle, dude.
Yeah, if the Raiders pick at 36 and they take Banks with Krista Miller or Big Citrus still on the board, I would just shake my head and be like, "Dumb pick."
Citrus is projected to be a 3rd round pick, though, right?
I mean, it all depends what you look at. Like, I don't, you know, and like I said 3rd round earlier for like Wheatley and Muhammad. But like, I feel more confident saying with them because of, I mean, it's a really good nose tackle class, but like, there's just so many cornerbacks that are good this year. You know, like you can kind of like grade out where some of them are going to fall a little bit better, I feel. But yeah, dude, I don't know, man. It's like I said, I have them rated top tier, not Banks. So to me, if you take any one of those 3 at 36, I'd be like, that's a hell of a good pick.
I'd be happy with any of them, honestly, at 36. But I just I'm intrigued by Banks's talent. Like I think he has, you know, he has the measurables as well, that things you can't teach, you know. But you made a point earlier about it, Broski, a few days ago about, you know, a 6'6" nose tackle.
Yeah,
like when Banks is 6'6". Like,
yeah, exactly.
So,
he reminds me too much of Gerv Dexter, and yeah, I'm pretty much done with Gerv Dexter.
You know who's an interesting prospect based on like their draft stock, because they're just all over the place, is Kamari Ramsey, the safety out of USC. Like, I've seen him mocked anywhere from the 2nd round to the 4th round. It's like,
dude, there's a ton of guys like that.
Yeah, that tells you like they don't really know what either, you know, well, I won't say the teams don't know, but we really have no idea like where this guy's where his real position is, you know what I mean?
And I could even throw Wheatley in there, and that Kilgore guy from from the real USC, University of South Carolina, like 2nd or 4th round. I've seen them. You know what I mean? So it kind of depends too, because some of these safeties teams are looking at them more to play nickel than they are safety. Actually, some of these safeties are like more like, okay, you're just a set free safety, or you're just a set, you know, box safety. But a lot of teams are like, no, you're going to be our nickel back too. So that's another kind of thing to consider.
Mm-hmm. I definitely think Ramsey is athletic enough to play nickel corner too.
Look at that photograph. Every time I see it, sorry, that's the wrong nickel back. My bad. Sorry about that, guys.
Holy cow, I thought the show went off the rails for a second there.
I was going to say, to the draft start, is Broski already drinking?
Oh, dude, I'll tell you what, I am amped on freaking Brazilian coffee right now, man. I am fucking wired.
Oh, dude. Happy draft day.
And no, that's not code for anything that goes up my nose.
Peruvian marching powder.
But it could be.
You could always just drop it in your coffee.
Come on.
You could always just drop it in your coffee.
Holy shit.
I was going to say, that's a hell of a creamer.
Yeah, I had my fun with last year's draft, and I'm looking to have more fun with this one coming up.
Yeah, A-Dub came out of his shell last year. Oh my god, bro. It was a good draft.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Like I said, Woody was the best, man. When you guys drafted Loveland, he fucking lost it.
Yeah, I remember that.
He wanted Warren, and he lost it. He goes, there we go, in the basement once again. Fucking Bears suck. You should have heard him, bro.
Oh, dude,
yeah,
I was at a funeral up at my. Oh, go ahead, A-Dub.
Yeah, the case was like you did go tight end, but you didn't get the one that you wanted.
Yeah, but I think in retrospect, the Loveland pick worked out just fine, dude.
Yeah.
I know, but it was just funny to see it at the moment.
No, yeah, I remember Woody's meltdown over it for sure. It kind of reminded me of when the Raiders drafted Alex Leatherwood in the 1st round. I called Nick and I was like, dude, I don't even know what the fuck we're doing anymore. Like, I really don't know.
Well, trust us. trust us. I know back in 2024, as I mentioned it before, we had that same kind of reaction in fashion. Like, I'm sure plenty of Packer fans were upset when we drafted Jordan Morgan with our first pick.
I most certainly was one of those guys.
He still ain't panned out, bro. As far as I'm concerned, he still ain't fucking
fuck no.
panned out. It's a waste of a first-round pick. That's why everybody's like, you got no pick. We got Micah Parsons. To me, that's a win-win. I'm just saying, man. We don't have to trust in what they're going to draft.
Well, speaking of Morgan, unless we get somebody for that position, he's going to be one of our starters this year.
I understand, but to me, he's not a standout.
Yep, I'm with you, Rob. I hope we get somebody else at left tackle to compete with him, because I really do not want him being the only freaking option out there.
Yeah.
I fully put that Bears playoff loss at his feet for at least the breakdown in protection, because for a while there he was getting pushed back and nobody was getting by him, and that was awesome. Well, they figured out, hey, well, we can't get by him, but we can move him around. We're just going to push him into Jordan Love's lap, and that's what you kept seeing.
Yeah,
play
somebody's
after
gonna run that boy over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's awesome. Nobody gets by you, but dude, you got to fucking put some fucking weights in your shorts or something, dude.
Dude, got to learn that anchor.
I tell you what.
He's like backfield Braxton. I
was going to say, man, he was doing his backfield Braxton Jones impersonation.
He would be a testament to where that method does not work out very well. Like, you draft a tackle and you try to move him on the inside of your old line to be a guard, and not every move like that works out.
You know, if I'm the Raiders, I wouldn't actually be opposed either. You have 10 draft picks. If you really want that nose, like McDonald from Ohio State is projected to go in the late first, I wouldn't be upset if they traded that 36 and an additional pick, or, you know, even two. Like, they have 2, 3 fourth-round picks. Like, if they got rid of one of those and you know, traded up back into the first round to take McDonald, I wouldn't be upset with that.
Funny thing about the Lions going after the defensive lineman, they drafted one last year, and I'm wondering, has he panned out?
I mean, he was only a rookie last year. I could see him being a good player. Like, honestly, I think the bigger concern for the Lions is that bum that plays next to him that hasn't done jack since they gave him all that money.
Yeah, I was going to say Fred liked their D tackle Williams from last year that they drafted, and thinking that he's going to pan out too.
Yeah, I think he will. I think he will. I think
Lions
was a solid
have to go offensive line, dude.
Oh yeah, because I'll sit there and admit that I actually wanted that Williams there that they had drafted, because he looked like a hell of a defensive tackle from the tape I saw from him in college, and like we saw last year, he shows the signs.
Man, if they were to take Vega, that would be a great pick.
Well, and that's kind of how I look at my like nose tackle like rankings. So first of all, the bum I'm referring to on the Lions is Lee McNeil. I mean, they paid that guy. He's only gotten worse. You know what I mean? And injured. So, but Tyleik Williams. So think about it. McDonald's only like a 1-year starter at Ohio State. You know, Kristen Miller's been holding it down on the Georgia D line for 2+ seasons. You know, Dominic Orange, aka Big Citrus, he's been he played in the Big 12. So it's like Broski going outside what he usually looks for in someone in the trenches or in defense in general. But him and Chris Johnson are my two exceptions this draft. But Big Orange started for 3 years. You know what I mean? And he's got.
That's why I want Green Bay.
I want Green Bay to get him too. But when I think of him, I'm thinking of him to only do one thing, and that is to draw double T's off the O line and plug the middle as a nose tackle.
That's all any of those guys can do.
He ain't got to be
with Micah and somebody on the outside.
He ain't got to do nothing flashy for me.
Yep. No, I could care less about the numbers of tackles for losses and sacks. I don't care about any of that. You just sit there and hold those some bitches down and let everybody else eat, and I'll be happier than a pig.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Exactly.
the nose tackle's job is basically to free up your linebackers.
Yeah,
Well-
eat two blockers each play, man. I'm happy. That's all I care
Well,
about.
A lot of times when we were running the 3-4, we wanted our nose tackle out there getting sacks too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice.
We're
but,
greedy like that. We're greedy fan base. Greedy fan base.
yeah, it's nice, but if he consistently eats two tackle or two blockers, he's doing his job.
Give me another BJ Raji. I want to see a fucking defensive lineman out there picking up offensive linemen and sacking the quarterback with him again. I want to see another fat boy dance in the end zone.
Whoa.
You say give you another BJ Raji, or how about you give me another grave digger?
Yeah, Gilbert Brown, bro.
Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I could also see the Raiders going receiver at 36, even though I think like there's more pressing needs. I would rather see them take if you're going to take, at 36, if you're not taking a nose, I would rather see them take one more offensive lineman, either a guard or a tackle, to really shore it up for Mendoza.
Didn't you guys sign a wide receiver in free agency?
We signed Jalen Naylor, but he's not a number one.
Yeah.
We don't have a guy on our roster that we have a bunch of number twos and a couple of number threes. Like we have no number one guy.
You have a Brock Bowers. That's your number one.
Bowers,
yeah, but
don't forget him.
I know. Believe me, I'm not forgetting Bowers. It's just Bowers is like he has the ability to be your number one pass catcher, but I don't know.
2 years ago, he was your number one, I think.
Yeah, he was.
If he wasn't injured last year, he would have been your number one last year too.
I agree, but I want to have another receiver so that they can't just consistently bracket Bowers.
I agree, bro. Look,
I need somebody
Kraft
that's a
was our
threat.
1,000-yard receiver. If he didn't get injured, he would add 1,000 yards easily. I mean, I get it. We use our tight end too much too. I think that's why we shaved a few wide receivers, and we're going to focus on. Nah, bro. That's why he got hurt. He's getting pounded out there.
He got hurt because of an unlucky fucking play.
Well,
I think we need to funnel our offense through Tucker Kraft. Screw this searching for a number one receiver shit. Tucker Kraft is showing you he is that guy. Let's make him that guy.
Yeah. I mean, I was going
even then we could end up finding ourselves another tight end in this draft too.
Yeah.
I'd like to do that too because I am not sold on Musgrave whatsoever.
Yeah, there's some good sleeper tight ends this draft too. Like under the radar guys. Like most people only talk about the supposed top two, and they're mostly just like wide receivers playing tight end. But for the Raiders,
are you bringing up Eli Howard, Broski?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Eli Howard.
What school is he?
I don't remember the school, but they were talking about him yesterday. Like he's a tight end that converted from quarterback, and so he's a smart dude, and he's really athletic, good pass catcher. They were talking about him when it was Dan Orlovsky and somebody else, a couple other people. They were talking about him.
Oh, there's a couple guys, Oscar Delp from Georgia and Jack Endries from Texas. I mean, those guys, I don't know where they're going to go. Like, Delp supposedly is 6'5", like 250 and ran like a 4.4 40. So, but if you look at his college production, it's like he didn't have crazy numbers, and either did Endry. But like if you watch Endry, this guy runs routes and he can block, and he's like an inline blocker. I was like, those two guys really look like they could be studs in the NFL. Would hate to see the Packers land either one of those, but for the Raiders, going back to their wide receiver room, they really need to hope that Beck and Dante Thornton kind of pan out too. That because those are young players. I think they were both rookies last year, so they could take a step forward. That would be a big boost for the Raiders.
I agree, and that's kind of what I'm thinking is if the Raiders don't draft a receiver at 36, that tells me that the coaching staff has confidence in Betch and in Thornton because they didn't play a lot last year. Like Betch only had like 18 catches on the year. You know, like he would come in for like a couple plays every game, make one catch, and then be out. Like his numbers were like one catch for 18 yards, and then he's out of the game.
That's
like,
his name, Betch.
Jack Betch, yeah. I blame Pete Carroll for that, honestly. Son of a bitch. I blame Pete Carroll for that, honestly. Like I think because Pete Carroll didn't play a lot of our rookies last year. Like for whatever reason,
shit, bro. That's old school shit.
He played all the veterans trying to win instead of like playing the rookies to see what you have, you know.
Pete Carroll was doing his Joe Biden impersonation last year. It's like a fucking vegetable.
He's just really old school, bro. I try to tell you that when you got him. I go, aren't you worried he's going to be too old school for your team? I mean, that's the thing. These old coaches, man, they're
like, he still has energy. He still has energy, but it's almost like, does he have fucking brain damage?
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, but Orlovsky wasn't the one talking about Eli Howard, though. It was somebody else who brought him up. That's why I actually brought Eli Howard up. If Orlovsky had mentioned him, I wouldn't even have brought him up because Orlovsky's a fucking joke. Let's just be honest, dude. He's saying Orlovsky literally said Ty Simpson should be the number 1 quarterback drafted this year. Like, that should tell you everything you need to know,
right? And
that's not an indictment on Ty Simpson, because I actually think I've been saying it. I think Ty Simpson has talent. I think he just didn't play long enough. He doesn't have experience. But if he can go somewhere and sit for a little while, he could be really good, dude.
Yeah, Orlovsky, the one guy you can always count on to be remembered best for the one highlight of his career, running in his own end zone for a safety.
Yeah. Honestly, like for me, if the Rams were to take Ty Simpson at the end of the first round, I think that would be the best possible place he could go, dude. Yeah. Go sit behind Stafford for a couple years and become his replacement.
Yeah, that would make
a couple years. I think Stafford's done after this year.
That's got to be a plan for the Rams right now. Like, Stafford has only a few good years left. Like, eventually you got to find a replacement for him somewhere.
Yeah, but the idea of him going to the Rams, I think, is a hell of a good one. Because, shit, we saw just, what was it, 2 years, these past 2 years that Stafford was kind of whiff-waffling on retirement anyway. The dude's been beat all up to holy hell. So...
Yeah,
they totally tanked in the playoffs.
There's been a lot of whispers that the Rams are looking for that quarterback to sit behind Stafford this season, so he could be waiting in the wings to take over for him. Like, they were definitely 100% interested in Kyler Murray. There was another guy too, and the name's escaping. I'm forgetting who it was, but there was another, like, a quarterback who's been in the league, 5-6 years, that was out there who they were kind of like sniffing around too, supposedly.
You think they take Ty Simpson then?
I would.
I would. It would make a lot of sense to me if they would.
Yeah.
But then the Rams had to be thinking about, there are a few good players away from making the Super Bowl. Like, they only if they have more than enough to match the Rams, they'll get there.
No, I hear you. Like, use every pick you have just to go all in to win the Super Bowl this year, because you're that close. You're knocking on the door again.
I think they're close enough that you have the luxury to where you could spend the pick on the quarterback, because I think they already have one hell of a formidable team.
I think what they already did this offseason, and then the rest of their picks as well, besides that one pick they would use, like, I think they could afford
trading for McDuffie, like, trading for McDuffie was smart. Ty Simpson going to the Packers. Dude, I've said it. I mean, Ken and I were talking about it yesterday. I don't think that's the worst thing the Packers could do. Like, go and get a guy, like, let him sit behind Jordan Love, because Jordan Love's going to miss a couple games this year if the past is any indicator.
Well,
that's not your fault, Joe.
I was going to say, if this Joe guy doesn't fucking curse him again, because Love never missed a game. all the way up until I want to
Joe
see
run
how
his
he
mouth.
responds to
No, sir.
injury.
But that was
Why
2
give him a
seasons
big
ago.
contract? You don't know if he's going to hold up. Why give him a big contract? You've never seen him injured. That's what you said, Joe.
He did the same thing to Tucker Kraft too.
And 2 years have passed by, and we only seen him miss 2 games out of the 17.
Yeah, but that's why the narrative's out there. He can't win more than 9 games. He can't win the division because, bro, he's missing those games.
I thought Love missed a couple games the season before as well.
Yeah,
his first year is the only year he's completed the whole year. That was
Exactly. Yeah.
His first year, he didn't miss a game, and it was just his second and third year that he missed.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Fucking
I mean, it's only 4 games in the 2 years, but still, it's
4 games.
4 games. And honestly,
that's what I'm saying. Like Ty Simpson can come in, maybe win those 2 games for you.
I mean,
and who do the Packers have as a backup right now?
Dude, are you gonna laugh? Are you ready? Desmond Ritter.
I would much
starting QB for the Falcons.
I would much rather take Desmond Ritter as my backup and Big Citrus as my nose tackle than Ty Summers as my backup and fucking Stackhouse as my nose tackle.
Well, I'd rather have Broski as my backup quarterback. I mean, he's a Packer hater, but he'd do better than fucking Ritter.
Oh yeah, I would definitely beat out Dorn for that backup job. You know what I mean?
That's right, bro.
Well, don't forget,
I wouldn't mind doing a trade with the Giants and hope they give me Jameis Winston as my backup.
Yeah, they're unfortunately not going to cough him up for shit because from what you see with him interacting from the team, even though he's the backup quarterback, he's the leader of that team. I do not see them moving on from him. But believe me, I'd love to have a Jameis Winston as a backup.
Well, we're just going to secretly have Rodgers waiting in the wings just in case Love goes down. Rodgers is not working this year. He's going to just take over.
I do backflips for that.
Yeah, I was saying.
I don't know what
Giants,
we're going to do, bro.
I think they've seen enough to where they're comfortable with Jackson Dart as their starter.
Oh, yeah. I think Jackson Dart's definitely the guy.
Is Scadaboo going to be ready by week 1?
I don't know. That leg injury was nasty.
It was nasty, bro. That's why I'm asking because they need him too. They really need him.
I think Jackson Dart did prove himself. But one thing I would like to see, having John Harbaugh as the coach now, as much as he likes to run with quarterbacks, I would like to see Jackson Dart run less. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of his success last year was like running the ball. But it's like that's just not conducive to having a quarterback long term, dude. Like
I was gonna say, I thought you were gonna curse that poor kid too with the way you were starting to set that
up. No, I like Jackson Dart, man. Like, which is why I want to see him stick around. Like,
he hates Love. Fuck that guy.
He hates Love.
I don't hate Love.
I swear to God.
I don't hate Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love is a good quarterback. I think he's slightly overrated, but I don't think he's. I said slightly, but I don't think he's. I don't think he's bad.
Well, why not Jordan Love? I don't think he's a leader. I don't think he's a leader.
Yeah,
he goes from the field straight to the sidelines, puts his hat on, and sits down and gets in his fucking tablet. He doesn't fucking talk to the guys. He doesn't,
Yeah. Statistically, he's a fantastic quarterback, right? My problem with Jordan Love, the reason why I say he's slightly overrated is because when it comes to crunch time, it's like if you look at the playoffs, for example, he beat the shit out of the Cowboys, but then against the Niners, he throws that game-ending interception. Last year against the Bears, he's got a drive at the end of the game where he can take you down to win the game. You don't get to win. Like, and I know it can't all be blamed on Love, but like if you had Tom Brady in that position, or if you had Peyton Manning in that position, like you don't even worry about it. You're like, oh, dude, we're about to go score, right? Like,
yeah, but to be fair, with the Bears one in particular, he had 2 touchdowns that were taken away because somebody went, ugh.
Well, bro, but that's just
You could have Peyton Manning or Tom Brady running it, and you got two guys doing that shit back to back. Yeah, that's gonna.
But Ken, that's on us too for not having a fucking secured one.
Oh yeah,
someone we can throw the fucking ball to in those situations. That is the problem. Is we don't have a goddamn guy we can count on.
Bears fans hate me for it, but dude, I think Love's an excellent quarterback. I'm not gonna lie, and watching him play in that Bears game, I thought he played excellent. I thought 100% he was dropping those balls in those fucking receivers' hands on those last couple of series. Bro. It was like the last. It wasn't even the last series. It was like the last three, and they were just dropping them, bro. Like it was kind of disgusting, actually, from just a football perspective.
But this is where Rob's point comes in, though. Go ahead, A-Dub.
Yeah, and speaking of the Bears, broski, I was going to question you about this as I did question David Wyatt about it. Like, when it comes to your receiving core, who do you trust as your new number one? Would it be Roma Dunze or Luther Burden?
Burden. I think Burden and Loveland are the top two targets. And then I think Rome is good, but I think he's going to be like a number two. And I think Cole Kmet's fucking good. Like, and then both running backs, even the little monster Manon guy, he can catch too. So can Swift. So, I mean, in that Jade Walker kid who caught that pass in the corner of the end zone on that fourth down, like he was undrafted free agent rookie. But if you watch him, like Texas A&M and shit, like, dude, he might become something in the NFL. Like he might be like a legit number 3 or number 2. Like I'm telling you, man, just go check that kid out. He's got a lot of talent. But yeah, they're probably going to draft. Honestly, they're going to draft a receiver somewhere in this draft. But I wanted to get some comments out there about the Giants and Dart really quick. I'm really not a fan of Dart. I'm really not a fan of Scattabooby. And
did we lose him?
I was gonna say he's so much not a fan of it. He got
he's not a fan. He just went like dead silent. He said,
"I'm telling you this right now. I think Harbaugh wants to get away from having a running quarterback. I think he's sick and tired of that shit. He wants to pick a nice pocket passing quarterback. So I don't think Dart. I think Dart might be like a bridge quarterback this year, and then he'll get his guy next year or something like that.
Right. You know, somebody questioned me about that part about is the days of the pure pocket passers supposed to be over? Because nowadays, when you watch the NFL, any quarterback you get nowadays, they got to be able to do both. Got to be a pocket passer, and they got to be able to use their legs when necessary.
I think that's just the game, bro. You eventually going to run. The protection is not going to protect you every time. Your quarterback is eventually going to have to run, bro.
And the flip side to that coin is it's the game. Like you have to be a quarterback who has to be able to sit in the pocket and make some throws. I mean, just look at Caleb from year 1 to year 2. Like he actually developed the ability to sit in the pocket and throw downfield over the middle last year, and he took a step forward.
Yeah. Well, I think that has to do with your O-line protecting him better too.
I mean, coaching O-line, but my point is this: like you still have to be able to stand in the pocket and complete a pass.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
And for me, like that's why I said with Dart, like I want to see if he can do that because they had him running so much last year. He was successful doing it, but that's not sustainable long term. Like I want to see, if he can be that pocket passer because he was a good. In college, he was a pocket passer that could run, and he had his decision making was a little bit questionable. But
I think why we saw him running so much with the Giants is that after Malik Neighbors went down, who the fuck did he really have to throw?
Yeah, who's he throwing it to? So he just snaps the ball and he's like, "Well, I guess I'm running."
Yep.
Yeah.
Which leads me to the whole thing of do the Giants take a wide receiver this year? I think they should. With one of those 2 top 10 picks, I think they should take a receiver.
Yeah, like after Malik Neighbors, I mentioned the other options you got now is Darius Slayton and Darnell Mooney. How much do you trust those two?
Well, Mooney's a solid wide receiver 3, but that's it.
Yeah. I was gonna say Mooney is a 3 or a 2. I'm not against.
Yeah, I mean, you got Malik Neighbors. You get another rookie. I mean, there's your 2,
Yeah, but Neighbors is coming off an ACL. So, I don't expect him to start, like, lighting the world on fire game 1, But I think he's a good enough player that by the end of the season, he could still have 1,000 yards. Like
with how much of a freak athlete that guy is, I wouldn't be surprised if he's healthy a lot sooner.
Yeah, Neighbors is a beast. Like he's an absolute monster, dude.
They don't have a desperate coach right now. They got a legit coach coming in. So I mean, it's going to be a little different for them all.
Yeah, who's their offensive coordinator?
Oh, I don't know.
Who did Harbaugh get to be the offensive
coordinator? Who was his former OC when he was over in Baltimore? That's probably who he brought over.
No, Monken went to the Browns.
I don't know then.
I'm looking. That's right.
Oh, shit.
It's Matt Nagy.
Oh,
no way. Oh, wow.
Rest in peace, Jackson.
Right.
Yeah,
it is that time. Make sure you join us for the draft. We will see y'all tonight.
Hey, send me the link for your guys' draft party.